You know that feeling when you see a guy go absolutely head over heels for a woman? Like, he's texting her good morning, cooking for her, planning weekends, and talking about feelings. Gasp. And you're sitting there like, wait, the same man couldn't even text me back on time. So what is it? What makes a man emotionally attached to one woman and not another? Because let's be honest, attraction is easy, lust is easy. But that deep emotional attachment, that's a whole different game. That's when he can't stop thinking about you. When you become the woman who lingers in his mind long after the conversation ends. The one he doesn't just want, but needs emotionally. So grab your coffee and let's dive into what really makes a man emotionally attached to one woman and not another. She makes him feel safe, to be vulnerable. Let's start with the big one, emotional safety. See, men aren't raised to be open books. Society teaches them to man up, to suppress emotions, to hide their insecurities. But deep down, every man craves a space where he can drop the armor and just be. And when a woman gives him that, not by fixing him, not by mothering him, but simply by listening without judgment, it hits different. He starts to feel like, wow, I can actually be myself here. You'd be surprised how powerful that is. It's not about being perfect or always knowing what to say. It's about being that calm energy in a world that constantly tells him to toughen up. When he feels emotionally safe around you, he starts letting you see sides of him he doesn't show anyone else. And that's the moment the emotional attachment begins. She's not afraid to be herself. Okay, confession time. Most women try way too hard to impress men. You know, always being agreeable, always looking flawless, pretending to be chill when you're clearly not chill about something. We've all done it. But here's the twist. That's not what actually makes a man fall for you. Men become emotionally attached to women who are real. Women who can be playful, goofy, opinionated, even a little unpredictable. Why? Because she's not just another pretty face. She's a full, living, breathing experience. When you're unapologetically yourself, when you laugh loud, speak your truth, and own your energy, he feels something authentic. And authenticity, it's magnetic. It's the difference between him liking your vibe and him being moved by your energy. She challenges him, but with love. Let's be clear. Men don't get emotionally attached to women who agree with everything they say. They get attached to women who challenge them in a way that inspires them to grow. When you set standards, not ultimatums, but boundaries with grace, it signals to him that you value yourself. And that energy of self-respect, it draws him in like a magnet. A man may lust after the woman who gives him everything easily, but he'll become emotionally attached to the woman who makes him work for something real. The woman who calls him out gently when he's being inconsistent. The woman who says, I adore you, but I won't settle for half effort. That kind of woman awakens the best in him. Because now, he's not just chasing your attention, he's investing his emotions. She meets his emotional needs without losing herself. Let's decode something important here. Every man has emotional needs, even if he can't put them into words. He needs respect. He needs to feel desired. He needs to feel trusted. And when a woman taps into those, genuinely, it creates an emotional bond that feels electric. But here's the key. She does it without losing herself. She gives affection, but doesn't beg for it. She listens, but doesn't absorb all his problems like a sponge. She supports him, but still protects her own energy. That balance, nurturing and self-respecting, is intoxicating to a man because he realizes this woman doesn't just love me, she also respects herself. And that combination, that's when emotional attachment turns into admiration. She speaks his emotional language. Now, this one's juicy because men and women often speak different emotional languages. A woman might say, I love you through affection, attention, or communication. But a man might express love through action, by doing things for you, by showing up, by protecting your peace. So when a woman starts seeing and appreciating the way he gives love, not criticizing it, not comparing it, he feels understood. And when a man feels understood, he emotionally attaches like crazy, because suddenly, he's not just being loved, he's being seen. And that's what men crave more than anything. Here's the harsh truth. You can't make a man stay. You can't make him commit, can't make him open up, can't make him love you. But you can become the kind of woman who inspires him to do all that naturally. How? By giving him something no one else does. Freedom within connection. When he's with you, he doesn't feel trapped. He feels energized. He feels like he's choosing you every day, not because he has to, but because he wants to. That's what emotional attachment really is. It's when he realizes that loving you doesn't cost him his freedom, it enhances it. You become his peace, not his prison. She knows her value even when he's not around. Let's be real for a sec. Nothing is sexier or more emotionally magnetic than a woman who knows her worth. You know the type. She's not chasing validation. She's not trying to prove she's enough. She already knows she is. When a man senses that energy, something shifts inside him. He feels like he's with a woman who chooses him, not one who needs him. And that's powerful. Because when you stop needing him to validate your worth, he starts valuing you more. Funny how that works, right? He realizes you're not with him out of fear of being alone. You're with him because he adds to your already full life. And that kind of emotional independence, it's the ultimate aphrodisiac. She creates emotional connection through playfulness. You know what's underrated in relationships? Playfulness. Flirty banter. Inside jokes. Random teasing. Shared laughter. It's not just fun, it's bonding. Men emotionally attach to women who make them feel good. Not the ones who are always serious or dramatic, but the ones who can turn an ordinary moment into something light and memorable. Because playfulness builds emotional intimacy in a sneaky way. It lowers defenses, builds trust, and makes him associate you with joy. And when you become his safe space and his happy place, game over. He's not going anywhere. She doesn't play games, she plays with purpose. Now, some women think emotional attachment comes from making him jealous or keeping him guessing. But those are just control tactics, not connection builders. A real emotional bond happens when there's trust, honesty, and authentic communication. When you can say, hey, this is what I need, without guilt. When you can admit, that hurt my feelings, without drama. That kind of emotional maturity stands out. Because let's face it, most people don't communicate, they just react. But when you can stay calm, clear, and real, he feels something rare. He feels safe. He feels grounded. He feels home. She connects to his heart, not just his ego. Finally, here's the biggest secret of all. Men might chase women who stroke their ego, but they attach to women who touch their heart. When you genuinely care about who he is, not just what he does for you, it creates emotional depth. You see the man behind the mask. You appreciate his effort, his little quirks, his inner struggles. You love him for his essence, not his image. And that's when he feels something sacred, something he can't replace with anyone else. Because physical chemistry fades, excitement fades, but emotional depth, that stays. In the end, ladies, emotional attachment isn't something you can force. It's something you inspire. It's built through safety, authenticity, playfulness, and mutual respect. It's when a man looks at you and feels, with her, I can be my truest self. And that's rare. And that's what makes him emotionally attached to you. Not because you're the prettiest, or the easiest, or the most available, but because you're the woman who makes him feel something real. So stop trying to be the perfect woman. Be the present, grounded, emotionally intelligent one. Because when you master that energy, the one that's confident, kind, fun, and self-assured, you won't have to chase emotional connection. It'll naturally find you. The right man doesn't just get emotionally attached to your body or your beauty. He attaches to your energy, to how he feels in your presence. So be the woman who makes him feel at peace and alive at the same time. That's the woman he never forgets.